Good afternoon, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about investing in the stock market. Been a little while since I posted a video. Had a lot of stuff I've been working on. Um, this video is going to be about SoFi and what's going on lately with them within the investing community. I think that there's obviously there's a lot of hate and disdain towards what's going on. I just wanted to share my views, maybe get into the little, get in the weeds on the financials, and what does this mean? Is this good or bad? What am I doing, and so forth. So let's talk about what's going on and why the stock took a hit lately. Um, they're doing a debt offering, so they're going to be taking on more debt. So 750 million. All right. And this is going to be in the form of convertible bonds. For those who don't know what convertible bonds are, um, think about it as if I buy a bond, it yields some interest. Not as much as the market, but it still yields a little bit of interest. But you got an option to convert that into actual shares of the company, a conversion from debt to equity. All right. Um, Pros and cons about convertible bonds. Just like any other investment, there's a lot of things to consider when a company takes on convertible bonds, or when you yourself as an investor are taking on bonds. We're not going to get too much into that in this video, but we're going to talk about how it applies to SoFi. All right. So SoFi, they're they're privately offering $750 million worth of unsecured convertible senior notes. So when they say privately offering, that means there's already some sort of institution or some sort of other investor or some individual party or entity that's taken on the whole package. All right. With the amount of capital 750 million is, I'm gonna take a wild guess. It's probably some financial institution that handles debt or issues out debt. Unless maybe they're borrowing it from Buffett, but I mean that would be all over the news if they were. But so anyway, these convertible notes, which notes are another term for bonds. They're unsecured and they accrue interest at 1.25%. That's a really good interest rate, as far as from SoFi's point of view to have. Considering what they plan to do with the money raised, is they're going to redeem these 12.5% Series 1 preferred stock. So preferred stock is equity, all right? So it's another form of equity, but it's a fixed, usually preferred stock is has a fixed yield. So let's say I own preferred stock in a company that doesn't pay a dividend. All right, just for example purposes. Um, if I have preferred stock, typically there's a dividend associated with it. However, usually, not always, but most of the time in preferred stock situations, there's pretty much limitations in voting rights and so forth. So there's a trade off there. Typically, when a company issues out preferred stock, it's usually in the beginning phases of the company, and there's usually a redeem option later on down the road, to where there's an option within however many years the company has the right to just buy your stock out, and that's it. You don't have a say in it, and that's part of the deal. All right. Not all the time, but usually most of the time that's what happens. And for this situation, that's what it looks like. It appears that happened with SoFi when they raised the stock offering and issued out preferred stock. All right. So SoFi is gonna issue out these low interest rate bonds that they have to pay out 1.25%. Considering the market and what the interest rates are right now, I think that's a win. And they're going to use that to service and claim back these preferred stocks, All right, they're gonna maintenance that aspect. All right. Um, these notes are gonna mature in 2029. All right, and they're gonna settle on or about actually today is it's because it's March 8th. So let's go to the financials. Let's see what the impacts are. What I'm looking at as an investor in SoFi. All right. So we'll go to quarterly income statement. A lot of this is let's go to a lot of this is gonna a lot of my where my eyes are is on the balance sheet and cash flows. All right. So SoFi reported profitable quarter last earnings, and they made 47.9. All right. With the cash flow statement, we're going to see where that money went. All right. Let me see here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. You see this? This right here, they paid 20.4. They paid 20.4 million in preferred stock dividends. All right. So let's look more into it here. All right, let's go to their balance sheet. Let's look at their cash, what they got on hand, and let's look at their debt and what's been formulating. All right, so cash and cash equivalents. Let's look at from December of 2022 at 1.4 billion in cash ish. All right, and then in December of 2023 we have 3 billion ish in cash. All right, so increase in cash. That means good. All right. But there's another side of the equation. Let's look at their debt. We'll go down on the balance sheet. All right. And again, we're going quarterly. All right. Um, December of last year, we had 5.6 billion of total debt. And then December of last year, okay, the last quarter they reported, with 5.3 billion. Okay, so decrease in debt, but we'll go to the net debt. All right, so for net debt, and there's leases and different things that taken into calculation, but net debt we're looking at December of 2022 4.1 billion, and we decreased net debt to 2.2 billion. All right. So the net debt is the amount over the cash and assets, if you will. All right. So the debt's going down and the cash is going up. The actual raising of the debt equity, yes, the cash will come right up here briefly, the cash and cash equivalents, but it'll be redeployed to pay down and redeem to redeem the preferred stock right here. All right. So a portion of the preferred stock, if you will. I think that if they're raising 750 million, they're probably going to redeem all of it. I'm hoping to see on their next quarterly report that this all this preferred stock equity, I want it all to be gone. Maybe it all won't be, but at least most of it, half of it, what have you. So that way, when we're looking at, let me see here, it should be in the, oh yeah, let's go to the income statement. Bear with me. Oh, here, okay, here we go. Here we go. You remember that 47.9 billion in net income? That eats right. Those preferred dividends are eating right into the preferred. That those preferred dividends are eating right into the net income, which all of us as the common shareholders are entitled to. All right, and yeah, so we don't. It's going to go right straight down to the cash flows eventually. I mean, we're negative on the cash flows, um, and but accounts receivable, and as the interest from all the loans they've issued out, collected interest will start formulating better cash flows. But here's something to take a look at. Okay, um, basic weighted average shares outstanding versus diluted weighted average shares outstanding. If you've been taking a look at my prior video on my SoFi price targets, I go off the diluted weighted average shares outstanding. All right. So bit of a gap. You don't want to see too much of a gap. or else, when it comes time for someone's exercising their options or warrants, convertible bonds, etc., you could take a big hit in the float. So, but it is what it is. We're in a growing company. Um, I mean, we pretty much looked at the quantitative aspect of things. I think it's good for the company. We're getting rid of we're redeeming some preferred shares outstanding that's yielding 12.5% or what have you. What was it? Yeah, 12.5% on those preferred shares. That's going to open up that's going to save, it's going to save, tens of millions of dollars in dividends that are going to be having to be paid out to shareholders that are not that aren't me. I'm not receiving any of those dividends. So I need that energy. Remember, wealth is energy. I need that energy to be put back into the stock. All right. Noto is working this out. All right. If you're investing in SoFi, you're going to have to be putting a lot of faith in Noto because and I'll tell you what, he's a big shareholder too. All right. So he's diluting himself. Remember, he has performance units, a performance based stock unit package to where he needs the stock to be a certain amount by a certain time. This is in the finance sector and banking and investment banking and how they create wealth. It's different. It's not always pretty to see how the sausage is made. All right, but you just have to let Noto do his thing, let SoFi do its thing, and they're gonna be able to redeem those shares. And if they raise that much, they should be able to redeem all of the shares and have a whole, another 300 million worth of capital to work with. Maybe they buy down debt. I hope they issue out more loans and start issuing different derivatives and ways to make more money as a bank. I'm thinking that's what they're going to do, but we'll see. Either way, Noto's got the plan. He's in the driver's chair. I'm just in it for the ride. I trust him, considering that he owns a bunch of stock too, and he's incentivized to where we're aligned as the shareholder and management. So let's look at my position real quick as we close out. Um, I own all my shares, as you can see. If you've been following along, I capped it out at over 10 G's of capital. I still got my 1,200 shares. I'm not selling. I'm not going anywhere. I'm holding long and strong. And that's how it is. The portfolio, we're doing pretty good. Actually, we hit a milestone. We're over 80 G's now, and we got over 50% in as far as our gains or percentages. Crocs is going up, and I expect that stock to just keep running. If you've been following along on my channel, all right. So doing a good job so far. Um, on another plugging, I got to plug it. On another note, my Patreon is up and running. People are already starting to subscribe to that Patreon. My first 10 subscribers, I'm offering a free one-on-one for an hour after a quarter of time being a Patreon member. So you'll get to benefit that as a promotion, and schedule that after the first quarter of being a Patreon member. I think there's a few people, two or three people already signed up for my Patreon. So first 10 subscribers to my Patreon will be able to benefit for that. All right. So with that being said, I hope you all got value out of this video. I hope you're getting value out of this channel. It's a very small channel, so please consider subscribing to it and thumbs up. But with that being said, thank you and have a good day and enjoy your weekend.